Welcome, everyone, to Alex Box Stadium at Skip Bertman Field in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It is day number 1 of the 2022 Class of 25 All-American Games. We've got games today and tomorrow, delayed at the start due to lightning strike in the area a little over 30 minutes ago, but we are just about set for baseball. Happy to have you on board for the 2 days here in Baton Rouge. Along with Chris Allard, I'm Steve Lennox. And Chris, this is really kind of a culmination of the summer for a lot of these players. They'll play maybe 1 or 2 events, including this perfect game event here in Baton Rouge, but then it's back to school and getting ready for the fall.
Well, Steve, absolutely. And I think the key here is just really for these guys to shine here. This is really the end of the season, culminating, as you stated, really kind of the end of their travel ball season, ready to get back into school. And, you know, we're seeing some talent here. I mean, this is a tremendous opportunity for a lot of these young players to really move forward to the next level and really have an opportunity for the All-American games, right, which is ultimately really their end goal. But, you know, last night we saw some good work off the mound. We're seeing guys swinging it, and you know, we're excited. I think it's an opportunity for these young athletes really to show what they've got and take it to the field, if you will. Our
first game, Team Gold out of the West and Team Gray from the Central. Team Gray will be the home team, and their starting pitcher will be Owen Marsalek, one of the top pitchers in the state of Minnesota. We'll touch on him throughout the course of his outing. These are 4-inning games, at least for the first 3. Actually, this one is scheduled for 8. The next 3 later this afternoon and into tonight are scheduled for 4 innings, and then we'll have baseball as well tomorrow with 3 5-inning games, and then it'll wrap up with a 10-inning game as well. And we'll kind of give you an idea. Perfect game events. Yes, we have baseball, 3 outs in an inning, and the teams will certainly switch sides, but there's some things that go on at perfect game events, including the shortened games. And basically, Chris, that comes down to the number of pitchers that they have available on the rosters as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, Steve, what you're really hitting it there. Pitching is a premium, and depending on what's happening with each one of these clubs, that's going to have a factor on how far we'll go. And in some instances, you have to stop. I mean, you run out of pitching, you run out of pitching. But I expect to see some really solid arms here today. I think we're going to see some good numbers on the velo. A lot of these guys are getting in the upper numbers here, which is really positive for them, and get a chance to really see what the pitching's all about. As you said, it's really kind of a premium in this case, and we'll see how far they go.
If you are with us on PerfectGame.tv and you're looking for a specific player, the rosters and the schedule up on Perfect Game. So we've got gold and gray in game number 1. Our second game will be purple and red. Red will then play USA Royal. That game later this afternoon as well. And then we've got USA and Southeast Purple playing in our nightcap tonight. Again, tomorrow it will be 4 games. We are hopeful to get underway on Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time from Baton Rouge. The 3 5-inning games, and then we'll wrap up with a 10-inning game tomorrow afternoon from the beautiful Alex Bach Stadium here in Baton Rouge. And for a lot of these players, they played a lot of different venues, and this is one of the best venues for college baseball in the entire nation.
There's no question about it. I mean, here we are. We're in Baton Rouge. It's it's one of those seasons right now. We do get a little bit of moisture here and there, but when you're looking at the facility itself, it's absolutely beautiful. And here, looking out from our view, you see Tiger Stadium, which is really quite ominous in its own right. The structure is extraordinary. We're up quite high here, but beautiful facility. LSU baseball certainly has put a lot into this location, and we're excited to be here.
The grounds crew has been working awfully hard over the last they don't really take that many days off. They've got kid camps here throughout the course of this week and throughout the course of the summer months. But a big rainstorm yesterday morning on Wednesday, and last night everything was pushed back with the batting practice rounds that were taking place. They were supposed to have infield here as well. They pushed that back to this morning at another local facility, but we are just about set for baseball. They did have the kids camp here this morning, and now the tarp off the pitcher's mound and the tarp off the mound down the right field line, and Team Gray is ready to take the field, and we are just about set for baseball.
Yeah, it should be a good matchup here this morning. As I said, it's tough for these guys coming out of the rain delays and all these things, but I think these young men are ready to go. Expect to see really some good work here from all these clubs here this morning. As you mentioned, they had to go over to the Traction Sports Complex, which is just down the road here, to do some of their skills, but we're excited to be here at LSU. We're ready to roll.
And again, this is the 2022 Class of 25 All-American Games from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This is game number 1 of day number 1. Steve Lennox, Chris Allard along with you as we get set for baseball. And we take a look at the starting pitcher for Team Gray, Owen Marsalek. He's one of the guys we talked with last night. Left-hander, first baseman, and outfielder from Duluth, Minnesota. and he's been impressive over the course of the summer. These players, class of 2025, so they're all about to enter their sophomore year of high school.
Yeah, again, it's a big step for these guys. I mean, they're going to go really, moving up in the ladder, if you will, going into the sophomore class, and then some of these kids playing varsity now, others having an opportunity to get into that level, and then, of course, your junior year and really trying to establish yourself as a player and hopefully get into the draft or have an opportunity to at least play, through your remaining years, if you will.
And again, Central Gray, the home team, against West Gold. And there are players, yes, from the central portion of the United States. You've got Mason Braun at first base from Indiana. You've got Jackson Clayton from Wisconsin. You've got Caden Cloud from Missouri. You've also got Carter Cutts from Wisconsin as well. And you sprinkle in a couple of players from Texas. But Owen Marszalek from Minnesota making the start for this Team Gray.
Yeah, I like Marszalek. I mean, I think this kid's got a lot of potential. He's uncommitted right now, but certainly, he brings a lot overall through with the state. Overall, he's a #1 ranked left-handed pitcher. That speaks volumes to really where he's at. And again, touching some good numbers. Velo-wise, I mean, he's getting up. He's in the 80s, and again, that's a progression. But you'll have a real good opportunity there to see him today.
6 foot, 165 pounds, throws left, bats left. He is 15 years old. He'll turn 16 in a few months. 14-15s for the most part, as we are now set for the first batter of the game. And Mason Greenhouse will lead things off for Team Gold. Greenhouse, right-handed batter, stands in, and after a weather delay, we are underway. First pitch is a strike. Strike one on Mason Greenhouse. Good pitch there. Swings right through it. Down in the count, 0-2.
Starting out with his fastball, obviously trying to locate his pitches. Let's see what he's going to do here.
Picks up the strikeout on 3 pitches.
So good work there. That's quick work. There's no question about that. Again, everybody's just settling in naturally. It takes a little bit of time to get comfortable, and both on the pitching and, of course, getting in the box after a little bit of a delay. A little bit of maintenance out there on the bump as well. So Marszalek taking care of that. Some clay, obviously, some build up there, but he looks like he's in good shape.
See how batters react getting out of the box. They have the turf batter's box and the home plate. Marszalek, 4 pitches, 4 strikes. Will Hill at the plate. Hill from Summer Creek High School, Humble, Texas. A Texas commit. Rated number 61 in the nation by Perfect Game. So he's one of our top 100 players here. There are a handful sprinkled in.
I think there's some opportunities, too, for a lot of these guys that are not within that range, really being able to demonstrate their skills out here, and really that's the intent.
Well hit, right center field, and the count is made. Will Hill with solid contact but retired. 2 up and 2 down against Marszalek. And that's something that we talked with Dave Ronsley about last week for Perfect Game. It's an opportunity for the class of 25 players that are in the top 500 to improve their ranking in Perfect Game. They've had some changes in the upper tiers of the rankings in the top 10, top 25, top 50, top 100, but those guys that are ranked anywhere from 100 to 500 right now, they're going to move at some point this year when they do the full reset of the rankings.
Yeah, no question about that, and you're going to see some big shifting. And in some cases, for a lot of these guys, you'll see significant jumps, especially when it comes to the number of showcases they may have participated in, right? They're seeing their velos go up on the pitching side, their exit velos, a lot of the things that are being reviewed are really going to be the key takeaways for these guys, and you'll see that kind of movement. Looks like a little break in the action here.
And you see it where the players are leaving the field, so that tells us, again, lightning in the area, lightning within 10 miles of the ballpark. That is the rule, and that's a baseball rule and a sports rule, college sports, Little League International. So lightning within 10 miles of the ballpark, and Team Gray and Team Gold will be in a delay here for at least 30 minutes. And with that, if there's lightning in the next 15 minutes or so, then the clock basically restarts. So we hope to have more baseball here this afternoon from Baton Rouge. Again, this is the first of 4 games on Perfect Game TV, the 2022 Class of 25 All-American Games. And we will step aside. And, again, in a delay here at the start, 30 minutes with the weather delay and lightning in the area. We really haven't, if it's rained, it's just been a sprinkle so far. I think what will determine for us here if the rain's coming is if once again they decide to go back and tarp the pitcher's mound. Right now they're kind of just stamping at the pitching rubber and flattening out the dirt on the mound. So right now there's no urgency in terms of going to the tarps, but how long can you go with the pitchers here in terms of starting them up, heating them up, and then shutting them down for a time if you're going to ask them to go back to the mound?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with Marsalek, he was dialed in. I mean, obviously the number of pitches he just threw was very, very positive. I mean, good sign. He's got his fastball working. It looks like he was able to sit the side pretty quickly. But 2 up, 2 down. The thing is that as you said, it's really the delay in the time. I mean, on the arm, how much time is going to have to sit out before he's in a situation where either A, they will not want to throw him again. But, it's about protecting the arm. And, you're at the phase in your career, a lot of these guys, it's really important, especially with these good pitchers. We'll see how it shakes out for Marsalek. Coach may decide that he says, hey, we saw what we needed to see here, but he'll have another shot at it.
One thing you cannot control is Mother Nature. Lightning delay here at Alec Box Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at the start of the 2022 Class of 25 All-American Games. When we start up again with baseball on the diamond, we'll start up with you as well here on Perfect Game TV. We continue in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at Alec Box Stadium at Skip Bertman Field. Steve Lennox and Chris Allard along with you for the 2022 Class of 2025 All-American Games, our second weather delay in about 2 hours, and we are set for baseball once again as we've got Team Gold from the West and Team Gray from the Central. We entered the delay during the top of the first inning with 2 outs and the bases empty. And Chris, with perfect game events, sometimes things change on the fly. And with that, we've got the bottom of the first inning, and we've got Jack Jorgensen on the mound right now for Team Gold.
No, absolutely. And, that's unfortunate. It happens the way it rolls out. But, the key is they want to get these guys as much time as they can on the field. I like this Jack Jorgensen. This kid's a right-handed pitcher. He plays some third base. He's out of Frisco, Texas. And this kid can bring some heat. He can hit the top end of the 80s. So he's pretty consistent with his velo. He's got a good fastball, good command of the plate. We'll see what he can do here. But, a little bit of a delay, but we're back to action.
Right-handed pitcher, also plays on the corner at third base. Chris mentioned Frisco, Texas is his hometown. Touted as the number 11 right-handed pitching prospect in the state of Texas by Perfect Game and the 128th right-hander in the country for the class of 2025. Again, these players that we're seeing today and again tomorrow, the rising sophomores and these young men, class of 2025, are getting ready to go into their sophomore year of high school. You see Team Gray ready to come to the plate, and the starting lineup. It's not 1 through 9. The lineup goes all the way through the number of hitters on the lineup and on the roster for each team. So we could see 12 hitters for one particular roster. We could see as many as 16 hitters in the lineup as well as we take in the entire lineup here. And it will be Gavin Barr starting things off. Young man, Perfect Game, top 1,000. And it will be Jorgensen against Barr here in the bottom of the first inning. Again, this game is scheduled to go 8 innings, and that could also change. We'll wait for word on that. The next 3 games following this one scheduled at the start of the day to go 4 innings each, and then we've got 4 games tomorrow as well, 3 5-inning games, and wrapping up tomorrow afternoon. If the schedule holds, that will be a 10-inning game to wrap up from the 2025 class and the All-American Games here in Baton Rouge. We are set for baseball once again. Gavin Barr, young man from Mary Persons High School in Forsyth, Georgia. A swing and a miss, 0-1. We'll touch on the pitcher at the start for Team Gray. Well, we are scoreless here in the bottom of the first inning.
Another good-looking fastball here again. Jorgensen dealing. So, again, like we saw early on, these guys are really trying to establish the zone right away and see as he mix things up a little bit.
Just 16 years old, 6 foot, 170 pounds. And the way this day is going so far, 2 delays due to lightning. Great job by the grounds crew. Now you've got the pitcher as well on the turf. As you see, the entire pitcher's mound is covered by the turf inserts. There are 3 of them that cover the pitcher's mound here. You've also got the hitter, the catcher, and the umpire on the turf cutouts at home plate.
So going to a full count here against Barr. We'll see what he puts out. Good pitch on the way. Swing and a miss on the outside. Fastball runs the outer half there, Steve. He's got good command of the plate, so he sits Barr on the first at bat.
So Barr set aside. A lot of baseball played by these players over the course of the summer.
Yeah, most definitely. These guys are putting a lot of time in, and it looks like that was off the face mask of the catcher there. Fastball in. But, yeah, it's been a long season for these guys, but most importantly, it's an opportunity for them to really show what they have and what they've worked on, really kind of moving themselves into the next season here in the fall, back to school.
Julian Carter from Riverwood High School in Sandy Springs, Georgia, is retired on the bounce out, and 2 up and 2 down against Jorgensen. So the base is empty, and that will bring up Josh Taylor to the plate. Take a look at the ground ball to second base.
Well hit ball, again, right to the second baseman, though. A routine grab there.
Josh Taylor from Canton, Michigan. Plays for a USA Prime American travel ball team. Middle infielder, also plays third and will play the outfield. Goes to Plymouth High School in Canton, Michigan. The fielders will move around the diamond, as we'll identify as best we can. And that pitch misses down and away.
Conditions are good right now. We'll keep our fingers crossed, most definitely, in the case where rain's been there.
This one hit foul outside of first base. Josh Taylor says Derek Jeter, someone that he admires the most. Wonder if he's getting an opportunity to watch the Jeter documentary, The Captain.
It's been good. I've enjoyed those episodes. There's a lot to learn from that. Jeter, certainly an incredible player, right?
Hit on the ground, foul outside of third base. And Carter cuts at the plate. Not Josh Taylor. Not sure if there was a change in the lineup, possibly.
Yeah, these coaches shuffle guys around, right, quite frequently when you're in this type of setting.
Cuts from Hartford, Wisconsin. Right-handed pitcher, also plays on the corner at third and behind the plate.
Jorgensen running inside on the inside part of the plate there. Again, good command on the plate. Seeing him work well with his fastball here today.
Cutts is a baseball player who has given up playing multiple sports as he works the walk.
So Jorgensen looks good. Again, you're going to give a walk up here and there. These guys are probably a lot of adrenaline flowing at this point in time and really just trying to isolate his pitches. But he'll put his first runner on here.
Mason Braun at the plate. Braun from South Bend, Indiana. First baseman, outfielder, left-handed pitcher. And as you see, steps in from the left side of the box. Chris Estep, his travel team coach for the Indiana Mustangs national team. Hits this one back through the middle of the diamond, and they get the force out at second base. That retires his side. So we've got one inning in the book here. This one's scheduled for 8 between Gold and Gray, and we are scoreless going to the second.
So good showing by the pitchers so far. I think we've seen on both sides there as we get to the next inning and see if there's going to be a pitching change or not with the Gray team. As Marsolik will actually come back out. He started before we went into our delay. This kid was commanding the plate quite well. He sat his first two batters and trying to make some adjustments out there on the turf covering that they put over the mound, certainly being that all the moisture that came in from yesterday, right? They had some heavy rain down here yesterday.
You were in the area. I was still on the plane, and a lot of people were surprised that we were able to get into town with all the weather early Wednesday morning, rather. Already forgetting the day of the week.
You've been traveling too much, Steve. So Marsolik will take a couple more warm-ups, and he should be good to go. We'll get a chance to see a little bit more of him as he was efficient for the start of this matchup here this morning, or I should say this afternoon now.
Struck out the leadoff hitter, Mason Greenhouse, on 3 pitches, and then got Will Hill on a line drive to center field and was facing Luke Beeler at the plate. I don't believe Beeler saw a pitch as we went into that delay.
Right. They shut it down pretty quickly.
Starting lineup. Again, not just your 1 through 9 batters in the lineup. And it should be Beeler starting things off. See into the gold dugout here at Alec Box Stadium, the Box, home of the LSU Tigers. Jay Johnson just wrapped up his first year as the head coach, coming from Arizona. There were Jay Johnson sightings last night here as the 5 teams participating here at the Class of 25 All-American Games. Took batting practice. Infield was awash last night. Chris mentioned earlier they took it at a local facility earlier this morning. Baseball players here in Baton Rouge getting an understanding of what it's like to wait around.
Most likely, yeah, absolutely. You're having to wait around. That can be a little bit of frustration at times. But speaking about waiting around, Marcellus, so far, he ran that fastball earlier, his last pitch prior to the changeup as he runs the upper part of the zone and gets the K. So I like what I'm seeing from him, the lefty. He's good delivery and isolating his pitches and obviously having good command here so far. So his rest wasn't really that detrimental to him so far.
So Beeler, first out here in the top of the second. Again, we are scheduled to go 8 innings in this game. 3 games to follow, all scheduled for 4 innings. Hagen Wright from Mesa, Arizona. Outfielder, attends Red Mountain High School. Plays for the Artillery Scout 2025 team. Has committed to Arizona State University. We've got a handful of players here in Baton Rouge that have made commitments to play at the next level. Marcellus has done a nice job. You alluded to it, Chris, working in and out, down in the zone. He's elevated a couple of pitches. Shakes off a sign there from the catcher.
Really efficient on the inner half, as you can see. I mean, he gets another K there. Effective running the ball in tight, and, jamming these guys. They're still picking the zone right and left here, so he's got good control and command, but picks up another K.
So base is empty. And here's Ledford, who cannot lay off the fastball. Up in the zone, no ball, 1 strike count. Ledford from Council Hill, Oklahoma. Play all around on the field. Grounds this one to second. And that retires his side. Impressive outing to this point for Owen Marcellus from Duluth Marshall High School in Duluth, Minnesota. And the left-hander has worked an inning and 2/3, we can say, but 2 scoreless innings overall.
Absolutely, and efficiency really is the key. Seeing good control, good movement on the ball here, and so far we're seeing some solid pitching, a couple of knocks thus far, but we'll see some big hitters, I'm sure, coming throughout the course of this particular showcase. And again, I know there's some kids yesterday, I should say young gentlemen, that were really blasting the ball. I mean, from some of the BP that we saw last night, there were some balls that were going very deep. One almost went out of the park. I think we're 405 dead center, saw a ball hit really kind of more on the left center side that bounced off the top of the fence. So we'll see some of those guys, I'm sure, coming through.
Again, gold and gray playing this matchup. Purple, red, southeast and east scheduled to start after this one. After this one goes a scheduled 8 innings. We'll have 3 4-inning games the rest of the afternoon and into the evening hours here in Baton Rouge. There's the schedule. And the times will be pushed back. So patience is in line on this Thursday afternoon in Baton Rouge. Alec Box, the Box. Beautiful facility, one of the best in the nation for Division I college baseball. LSU, of course, in the SEC. A delay at the start before we got underway due to lightning in the area. Then a delay in the top of the first inning. And any lightning strike within 10 miles of the ballpark, you have to wait at least 30 minutes. And the clock can reset.
We'll see what Jorgensen can do here. Obviously, thus far, settling into his opportunity on the hill.
Fires a fastball. Jack Wheeler at the plate. Hitters right now, they need to go up and swing the bats. And that's what they're here to do. Pitchers so far have been filling up the strike zone. Fly ball, short right center field. And the catch is made for out number 1 off the bat of Jack Wheeler.
First ball we've seen hit up in the air. Most of the balls being hit so far on the ground. And to your point, you know, you're here to really demonstrate your skill set. You got to swing the bat, get the opportunities. But we're seeing some very efficient pitching thus far. And an off-speed pitch on the outer half for Jorgensen. He gets ahead in the count.
Max Beresford, same high school as Marsalek. Pretty good tandem right there, both pitchers. Beresford will see time behind the plate as well. Chops that one foul. They both play for the Encompass Expos, and their dads, Seth Marsalek and Tom Beresford, are on the coaching staff for that travel ball team.
Change up there. Got him swinging. Good pitch.
So Beresford back to the dugout. 2 outs in the inning. And that will bring up Jackson Clayton. Clayton sends one foul back behind home plate. Clayton is one of the hitters in the lineup for Team Gray that impressed at the plate during batting practice last night. Young man from Brookfield, Wisconsin. Touched on it earlier. Those states up in the Great Lakes region, Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, they produce baseball talent. And a lot of the players in those cold weather states, you're taking snow off the field March into April. And talking with a young man yesterday, you know, from the Northeast, of, you know what, you want to get to that level, you're down here all summer, and they see what it's all about.
Oh, there's no question about it. I mean, a transition from their winters to springtime and summer. I mean, most of these players not living in that part of the country are playing year-round in some cases. But Jackson, you know, clearly a solid player. You know, third base, plays some outfield, right-handed pitcher as well. He's the number 1 in Wisconsin, state ranked by perfect game currently. Third base, he's ranked number 1 in the state. So this kid's certainly got a good glove. And hard work obviously paid off in this case for him. But opportunity here for Jackson Clayton.
Sends one foul to the screen. I thought about it last night. In the sales world, you talk about putting a person in the car, letting them sit in there, get a feel for it, getting them, you know, picturing themselves driving this automobile. And, you know, for the kids from the Northeast, from the Great Lakes region, from the Midwest, you know, you're down here in the southern states during the summertime. It gets you to thinking, you know, I could be down here for baseball. I could be down here playing, you know, doing the Division I college baseball season for fall ball. There's a line drive, foul down the third base side.
Pull side there. No, you're right. I mean, and these guys get that kind of exposure, Steve, as you mentioned, traveling around the country and playing in warm weather conditions. It's easy for them to make a decision. Most definitely.
Clayton trying to reach in this inning against Jorgensen.
Jorgensen commanding well.
Ball scouted in the air, short center field. And that retires the side. Nice job by Jorgensen here in the inning.
I think we're seeing some very solid pitching so far on both sides, and really that's the key, especially to these events and some of the major tournaments. As you know, you've got to have depth in the arms. So a good pitch there. Well hit ball.
Try to in the half inning, yeah.
You want to go in the half?
Yeah, just like, yeah.
Okay, so we're down. Just count us in so that let me get your gains back up before. What's that? You want to count us in, Steve? Or do you want me to count us in?
Yeah, just point. Yeah, when we're
Put
ready.
the gains. All right, I'm coming down with gains, so don't say anything.
3, 2, 1, ready, 4. 4's up.
Well, back to action here, Steve. I think we're ready to go. We've seen some good pitching thus far. As there's no score here early on after the delay.
2 so far early on. And Marcella continues on the pitcher's mound for his third inning. Swinging a foul bat. Brock Silver starting things off from Middletown, Idaho. He's come a long way. Plays for the Dallas Tigers and Sawtooth Catch. 2 travel teams. It's a lot of baseball.
I'll tell you, there's so much baseball played around the country now and so many opportunities for these athletes that it's easy to get around and get asked to play occasionally as a visiting player. As Marcella continues to deal, swing on the outside, good fastball run in the upper part of the zone.
Marcelic with the 2 delays. He's pitching like he's got somewhere to go after the game. He's trying to speed the process up. Works at a quick pace. A lot to like about Marcelic here as we see him on the mound for a third inning. And he picks up another strikeout.
He's definitely efficient. He works quick. He doesn't take a lot of time, which can throw batters off.
Austin goes by Nico Nicholson at the plate. From Frisco, Texas. Soft liner to short. That one is picked off. 2 down.
So we really haven't seen any breakout yet with any big hitting. Defense has been efficient thus far. Pitching so far seems to be dominating what we've seen at this early stage.
Malosi Matafa Alferos goes by Losi. Young man from Hawaii at the plate for Team Gold.
That's a long trip for him. 5 hours, I believe.
Nope. Indicating number 5 at the plate. Sorry about that.
Okay, Steve.
Nicholas Partida at the plate. Jumped in front on my own lineup card as the makeshift that we have.
He goes by Nico. I know that
Yes.
much. He's from Pearland, Texas.
And that's what got me, because so does Austin Nicholson, who just lined out to the shortstop, and a walk there. And a base runner for Team Gold.
So really, if there's any slight faltering here, and I wouldn't really want to use that word, but I did in the case where Marcelic gets one guy on, so we'll see what happens here. I like to see running, too. And again, this is an opportunity for these athletes to really demonstrate their skills and speed, so we'll see what's happening here with Marcelic's got a direct view over to first base.
Here is Malosi Matafa Alferos.
From Iwa Beach, Hawaii, over on the North Shore.
Have you been?
I have been. It's a beautiful place.
Off the end of the bat, foul third base side. And there's room over there. The catch is made, and that retires a side. A walk, nothing else doing. And we're in the middle of the third scoreless ball game. Gold representing Team West, gray representing Team Central. Well, we've seen strong pitching early on in this matchup between Gold and Gray from the box in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And let's see what Charlie Buckles can do. Buckles is now on. Young man from Bethesda, Maryland, and he is committed to a state school here in Louisiana. He's committed to Tulane. 6'6", 200-pound left-hander. And Cody Palacios at the plate to start things off for Team Gray. Had a quick opportunity to visit with Charlie Buckles last night. Oriole fan. Says you just can't root for the Washington Nationals. And goes 6'6". Says dad is 6 foot, mom is 5'10".
Got some good genetics there.
Attends the Bullis School, plays for the Dirtbags 15U Platinum team. Again, 6'6", 200 pounds. He is 15 years old as Palacios works the walk to start things off.
Well, Buckles just has to settle down a little bit. Trying to find his groove.
So let's see how Buckles responds. And the first pitch taken for ball one. He falls behind early in the count against Caden Cloud.
His fastball looked good. I mean, he's just got to find it a little bit, get his target set up there, runs it on the outer half and misses there, but still, you know, probably just running a little hot here with the nerves.
Cloud shares one of his best baseball memories playing in the Cal Ripken World Series. Got to play against players from across the country and the world. Middle infielder, also plays in the outfield. From the Show Me State of Missouri. And Buckles with a couple of walks in this inning. That sets up runners at first and second.
Quick visit out to the mound just to settle him down, maybe getting the calls right. You don't want to get crossed up there. But just to give him a moment to reset.
Again, this is first of 4 from the box here in Baton Rouge.
Beautiful facility, no question. This is absolutely gorgeous. Keep the weather off. I think we're in good shape.
2022 class of 25. All-American games. This was put on the schedule for Perfect Game. Another opportunity to see players one more time, possibly during the summer months. Buckles will get it up 79, 80 miles an hour. Top fastball velocity has been 79. Throw to third as the runners are in motion, goes into left field, and that will score the game's first run as Team Gray takes a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, coming out of the box quick, a good pop from the catcher, but just offline a little bit on the target. And that one gets into left field and one across.
Stolen base, E2. And Caden Cloud now at third base. Pop up, short right field. Is this one going to be deep enough? Catch is made. Cloud tagging. The throw comes in. It's cut off, and the throw to the plate sails over the catcher. And 2 runs across for Team Gray, the home team here in the inning.
I think in that situation with the right fielder, looked as though he had a good arm. You know, cutting that ball off, maybe let that get through on a one-hopper. I mean, that was a will tag up at third to come home, third base and coming home. But, again, you know, sometimes you're not certain, right, in the middle of the play. You get cut off there. It's a decision.
Gavin Barr at the plate. So 2 walks and 2 runs across against Buckles. Long conversation recently. No matter what the level. Leadoff walks, 2 out walks. They'll drive a coach, a manager crazy, and more often than not, they'll come back to sting a pitcher.
Now, Buckles just having a little bit of a challenge with his command right now. And in that case, he just needs to settle down. Go to your strength. Go to your best pitch. Throw strikes. Let your defense work for you.
And a strike.
Or I thought he had a walk there.
Yes,
That
he
was
did.
Up in the zone.
Good pitch there. Comes back and gets a strikeout against Gavin Barr.
So that'll help. That's the part of the mental game there. You're able to get yourself in a full count, get the out there, and a strike, swing, miss. So maybe he's settling in a little bit, as I mentioned. Just go to your good stuff. Stick with your strengths.
John Loudon at the plate. Hails from Brookhaven, Georgia. First baseman, pitcher, and an outfielder sends one foul back behind the plate. Plays for the 9th inning Royals 15U Iglesias team under Rob Iglesias. Dream School, Notre Dame. Playing in Cooperstown, New York for the 12U All-Star Village tournament up at the Field of Dreams in Cooperstown, home of the Baseball Hall of Fame. That was his first out-of-state baseball tournament ever.
It's quite a tournament to go to for your first, right?
Absolutely. You don't get a lot of sleep, or so I'm told. There's a lot of baseball for the teams that go up there, and they run the tournaments all spring, summer, and fall. Loudon grounds one towards second base. And they get the out. 2 walks, 2 runs coming in to score against Buckles in the inning. And Team Gray with a 2-0 lead.
Buckles settling down. Good play. The second baseman. Good glove there. Throwing away from his body, but Buckles looks a little bit better settling in.
Gold on top, 2-0. Carter Cuts now on the mound for Team Gray. Representing the Central, he's from Hartford, Wisconsin. Catcher now on the pitcher's mound.
There's some diversity in your play. You can move around everywhere.
Tommy Brown goes by T-Bone. Makes sense at the plate. Young man from Livermore, California. Plays all over the field. Plays at Granada High School in Livermore, California. Right center field. And Brown retired for the first out. Is that your area, Livermore?
Livermore's not my area. That's a little further up north. I'm in
Okay.
I'm in the Orange County, Southern California area. A little different location, but good programs throughout the entire state.
1 out, bases empty in the inning. Cuts on the pitcher's mound in relief of Owen Marcelik, who at the start had to deal with a delay due to a lightning strike in the area, and then also while he was on the mound, Team Gray took off from the field. And that's the frustrating part. Guys are just waiting around. No rain. Just a lightning strike prompting at least a 30-minute delay. The second delay was a little bit longer than that. Barrett Kasperwitz at the plate. Chases a pitch up in the zone.
Good changeup there, good differential. We don't have the speed differential there, but again, Kurt's looking good early on.
Again, as we saw with the delay in the top of the first inning, we went right to the bottom of the first inning. Marcelik worked to 2 batters and retired them both in the top of the first inning. This game is scheduled for 8 total, as the pitchers will be in and out. Isaac Rojas, slow roller towards shortstop. And the play made, out 6-3. And Team Gray, and the pitcher Cuts on the mound. Carter Cuts working a 1-2-3 frame in his first inning on the mound. And Team Gray leading 2-0.
Yeah, looking good, definitely. There's no question about it. We're seeing pitching at a premium here so far. As Team Gray ahead in the match.
If you can't provide good news, we're just showing the radar for the area. And we touched on the fact that we've had really no rain to this point in the day. If we had, it's been a light sprinkle at best, and we've been in the press box here at the box. So I haven't really had to deal with it at all. But that's what we do as broadcasters. We're up
exactly
here.
Right.
Players are on the field.
And unfortunately, the radar does not look promising going forward. So much like what we had to deal with yesterday with the delay, we didn't get things started until early in the evening hours.
During my days in minor league baseball, at home in my home ballpark, I had to deal with myself, not with my boss, not with the general manager of the team. But if it got to be 4 o'clock in the afternoon and we had a 7 o'clock game, I wasn't pulling tarp in that 3-hour window.
Yeah, there you go.
When I was on the road, there would be guys who would sign off on the broadcast, similar to what we did earlier. They'd either go down in what they were wearing, their khaki shorts or khaki pants and their golf shirt,
sure,
and pull tarp, or they'd put their tarp clothes on. I never offered on the road, and I've never really apologized for that, nor will I ever probably.
So there's no immediate time in the future that you're going to be pulling tarp.
No,
gathering.
No, my tarp pulling days
you've given up
over
tarp pulling?
A long time ago.
All
I
right.
can say I never ended up underneath a tarp. That was.
We've seen those situations,
yes,
though, right? Where
and they can be scary.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yes. Ethan Adams is the new pitcher for Team Gold, down 2-0. As we go through the pitchers here again, this one's scheduled for 8. And if you're familiar with perfect game events, we could go less than that based on the pitchers that are available.
It's out of Parker, Colorado. Got a Colorado kid here on the mound.
6'3", 198 pounds. And you and I both, you've got me by a couple of inches, and you're a former pro volleyball player. So there's athleticism on your side of the booth here. But, we were looking up at quite a few kids last night who were 14, 15 years old.
Absolutely, and just amazing how strong these kids are today and how well built they are. It just, I think fitness levels have changed so much over the years. And this kid can definitely bring some heat. He's the number 2 right-handed pitcher, state of Colorado, 3 overall. He can bring some heat. Top-end velo for him. Fastball's at 88, so he can definitely bring the hammer when he needs it.
Perfect game events. He's worked in 5 1/3 innings, giving up 2 earned runs. The walk total, almost double in terms of the innings. 10 walks, 8 strikeouts over those 5 1/3 innings. And picks up a strikeout here.
So right away, demonstrating his efficiency on the mound there.
Gray on top, 2-0. Couple of walks in the last inning against Buckles.
Looks like he goes there, gets the strike to start out ahead. Change up on the outer half of the plate.
Evan Jones at the plate. Whacks this one to left center field. And this is going to go for extra bases. Jones on his way to second. Throw comes in. It's offline. Arrives a bit tardy. And a double for Evan Jones.
Yeah, he jumped on that fastball. That was a well-hit ball. Took a good stroke there, left center. Some of these guys that are bringing the heat, you know, you get a piece of it, you're going to be able to drive the ball. In that case, a well-hit double.
You have attended events for this age group, Chris, and, you know, still with the ability, high school, but 14, 15, 16 years old, and using the wood bats.
It's a big difference, and you know, like the WWBA event, which is all wood, in those instances are really, it makes a big difference. A lot of these guys are swinging a drop 3. They've come out of, you know, 13U. Some kids are playing 60, 90. They're starting to swing a drop 3 at an early age, but they're still swinging drop 5s and such. But to swing a wood bat and get that kind of carry in that distance is very, very significant, and that's really where we're starting to see the separation. You get to this level, it really becomes significant, especially swinging the wood bat.
Marcelik, who has shined on the mound, now at the plate. On the questionnaire that he filled out for Perfect Game, he shares one of the great challenges that he has overcome. Diagnosed with ADHD, it's been a challenge for him, both at school and on the field. Ball gets away and the runner will advance. So Jones now in scoring position at third base after the double to left center. I give Owen Marcelik an awful lot of credit, as the infield will come up for team goal to share that. And takes inside.
Good pitch running in the inner half there. Marcelik got out of there in time.
Towards third, the play is made. Throw across a diamond and pulling the first baseman off the bag. The run scores, and Team Gray now leading 3-0.
Well hit ball, good defensive play on the third base side.
Another look. Good read at third base.
Yeah, Isaac Rojas makes the grab there over at third, just outside of the reach of the first baseman.
Marcelik on at first base. And the hitter is Gavin Barr. Julian Carter at the plate. Barr is a leadoff hitter originally. I have that right? But Barr just hit, so he's down in the lineup. So it is Carter, who grounded out in his first at bat. As we turn the lineup over. Barr, middle infielder from Forsyth, Georgia. And Julian Carter at the plate. The runner goes. Marcelik is safe at second base with a stolen base.
Good speed from Marcelik. He had a good jump. Still good arm from the throw down to second base, but Marcelik was well ahead there. Gets in under the tag.
Gray's been aggressive on the bases. And there's ball 4. A walk to Carter. So that puts runners on at first and second in a 3-0 ball game. Josh Taylor towards second. Get the force at second one. No return throw to first. Marsalek now caught. He's coming down the line to throw behind the runner. The throw to the plate, and he's in there safely. Marsalek pops to his feet.
Yeah, it looked as though there was some hesitation there on the throw to third as Marsalek took off.
They get the force out at second. And the throw here behind the base runner. So Marsalek about a quarter of the way down the line, taking advantage as he bolted for the plate. Runner goes here, throw to the bag, and a stolen base. So Team Gray continues to be aggressive on the bases, on top 4-0 here in the fourth inning.
Well, they're turning it up here. There's no question about it. Obviously feeling it on the offensive side.
So Taylor at second base. Carter Cutts, who we now see on the pitcher's mound for Team Gray. And Cutts walked in his first plate appearance. Dream school down south from his home state of Wisconsin. Would love to play at Clemson. Hits this one in the air. Center field, and the catch is made. We go to the fifth inning. Central on top of West, and Team Gold by a score of 4-0.
A little bit of a tough inning there for the Team Gold as the Gray guys were able to put them on nice and early and take advantage of a couple of defensive mistakes there. But nonetheless, just everybody settling into the game so far.
Team Gray on top by a score of 4-0. Our first game on day number 1 of the 2022 Class of 25 All-American Games at Alec Box Stadium here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Steve Lennox, Chris Allard, glad you're with us. They've got the John Deere tractor on the field.
Good old John Deere, huh? Just to do a little bit of housekeeping as Evan Jones, the new pitcher of record for the Gray team, took a couple warm-up tosses.
So this is interesting here. Team Gray leaving the field. They've got the John Deere tractor on the first base side. It looks like they're going to drag the infield. I'm not sure what they're going to be doing beyond that. A couple of players out of the third base dugout for Team Gold. They may be going down to tarp the mound.
You know, we did see the radar about 10 minutes ago. Looked as though there was a possibility of some weather coming in.
Yeah, I was afraid the Team Gold players were going to do exactly that. They're going to tarp the mound. They're not out of the first base dugout to go to the opposite end, but the delay here right now, this is a first for me, but they're out there, the grounds crew working hard, and right now dragging the infield. Are they going to do the entire infield here? But Team Gray back in the dugout.
Perhaps maybe just some protective measures when it comes to
Now
all the clay
players,
that's moved
right
up. And, you know, if the water gets into it, it's going to create a lot of mudding and packing, probably some challenges there.
There's a couple things I always look at, and the great players are now going down the first base side to put the tarp on the mound. It's one thing to put the tarp on the pitcher's mounds in the bullpen areas, and the home plate area has the turf cutouts and lightning. I think right there we may have all seen that. They're going to take a time to drag the infield, but we're going to be in another delay here for game number 1. But one of the things that is telltale for me that, you know, sometimes you believe the weather is truly coming is when they put the sandbags on the tarp. Because if there's going to be a wind along with the system, those tarps aren't going to last long. When you put the sandbags down, that's anchoring them down, and we'll see where we're at here.
And here we go, right?
So, again, we're going to have at least a 30-minute delay. Team Gray leading 4-0. Lightning delay in progress for Chris Allard and our entire PerfectGame.tv crew. I'm Steve Lennox. Stay with us. Clouds above the ballpark here at the box, but we're hopeful to play more baseball here in Baton Rouge.